Those who are listening to this, please don't be offended. When you grew up in a country like Jamaica, where when your child falls, it's allowing them to get up, seeing that they're okay, and say, oh, don't worry, baby, come here. As opposed to a society like the UK, where when a child falls, oh my God, oh my God. Let me get another example. When you have a headache in Jamaica, you tend to go and drink water, garlic. In England, you go to get tablets. The United Kingdom does not, in my opinion, Dr. Ava Brown's opinion, does not allow us to allow ourselves to build out our resilience muscle. We are muddle cuddled. We're cuddled a lot there. Too much cotton wool.
Okay, like good morning, good afternoon, Dr. Ava Eagle Brown. Thank you so much for your time, your beautiful energy, engracing the Long Story Short podcast. You know that I'm very appreciative of that, okay? Looking eyeball to eyeball type of thing, okay? So who is Dr. Ava Eagle Brown?
Wow. That's such a big question. Brown is a multipreneur. She's first of all a mother, a potential wife to a good man. So wherever you are. But I'm also a creative. I'm a writer. I'm a speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm an independent publisher. I have my own publishing house, Book2, the number 2 bizpublishing.com, where I help persons with writing their books from the kitchen table to the movie screen. So we have book to business, book to films, book to screen. I'm also a trainer. I just recently did a training for, I don't know if you saw that, government agency in Jamaica, and the CEO popped in and told me that I need to put 25% on my invoice, girl. So this invoice that for this training, I'm bumping it up. But that was so humbling for me because I'm coming from the girl who failed English in high school, and I'm on the neurodivergent spectrum, so I'm dyslexic. And I'm a friend, I'm a giver, and I'm the CEO and proud founder of the Black River Film Festival that I'm in the second staging planning phase at the moment. So that's why I live between England and Jamaica. At the moment, spending more time in Jamaica, where I'm sitting in my home that it's been built. And as you can see, I'm not even changing the background because I just keep it real at hurricane barrel damage, and we're getting it renovated. But that's who I am. And I'm candid, I'm authentic, I'm unapologetic, I'm non-negotiable, and I'm real, and I'm simple. That's who I am.
That's what draws me to you. That's what draws me to you. I just want to go through the screen and
I
go
forgot
like
that I'm
that.
a farmer. I'm a farmer, you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what draws me to you. I just love that you're unapologetically yourself. Do you know what I mean? And authentic in it. So you said so much in there. So let's start at the early beginnings. So let's start about your early beginnings living in Jamaica. Okay. Let's talk about you selling mangoes on the train.
Yeah, girl, I love mangoes. And I'm telling you that coming back to Jamaica at the moment has just given me a new appreciation for the fruit. This season was so delightful. And my best friend was here, and she got it from Birmingham, Audrey, and got a chance to enjoy real sun-kissed, sun-ripe mangoes. But as a child, I grew up in a community where my family was dirt poor. I came from absolutely nothing. So I live in something I call groundation. I'm very grounded, I don't matter how high I rise, I'm that grounded person. In fact, this morning, one of my clients reached out to me, and I shared it on social media, where she spoke about how much she loved me for my simpleness and my nimbleness in my clientele. And the part of that comes from the mango girl, because I sold mangoes as a child, because my stepfather had lost his job at the rice factory. In those days, Jamaica had produced rice. Don't know what happened to us now, but we did. And when he lost his job, we had to fend, and I was the eldest child. And so I didn't go to school much. I was selling mangoes, and I love mangoes. I don't know if because of that, but I helped to sell mangoes in various parts of Jamaica, length and breadth, as a young child to help my family survive. Hence my book, The Mango Girl.
And your love for mangoes, which one is your favorite mango? Which type?
Girl, do you know what? Like, it's a crazy one because I love all kinds of mangoes. But if I were to put it down, it's going to sound stupid. So on the very exotic and affluent side, which I'm not, by the way, when it comes to mangoes on the exotic side, I love East Indian mangoes. Those are my favorites.
Mm.
Those are the premium of mangoes in this country. But if you go down to the ghetto lifestyle and the simplicity of who I am, I'm a stringy girl. A regular common mango is juicy, it's hairy. I love to feel all of those characteristics of the mango. So those would be my two favorite mangoes.
Wow,
Yeah,
I love them all. I haven't even got a favorite.
I love
I'm
all of
that type of woman, you know
them.
what I mean? I don't even care.
I
So
don't care. I just love them. There's some mangoes I don't like actually. The very beefy ones, the very fleshy ones, I don't like them
you don't know.
because I like to feel the hair. There's a relationship with me and mango that goes deeper than just eating it. I like to feel the characteristics of it, like it's like playing the violin with me and mango. So I don't like the fleshy ones because it takes away that experience for me. You ever hear anybody talk about mango like this? Never, right?
Never, never.
So it takes away that
Never.
experience for me. But those ones I like to put in my smoothies and my salads. So I like them all, but those I like in a different way.
Oh, amazing, amazing. You spoke about the Black River Film Festival. You spoke about your book, The Mango Girl. And you know, this particular podcast is about resilience. It focuses on what the human behavior is like with regards to how we navigate life's twists and turns. So I'd like to share for you to share with me a specific moment in time when you had to navigate life twist and turn.
Oh my God. My client, I'm gonna look her up real quickly. My client who wrote me the message this morning has a book that I just published for her last year, actually. And I'm gonna tell you the title of the book so you understand why it was important for me to reach out for this. It's called Twists, Turns, and Curves, but Grace. That's her book. And her name is Samis Cheetah. She writes some beautiful books. My life has been fulfilled with, even now, twists, curves, and turns, but grace. I'm going to say, but God. There have been so many moments in my life that I could sit here and tell you about that have had me navigate and pivot. I'm not talking about the Jamaican one. Let's go backward. I came to Jamaica on holiday in 2021. I didn't come here to stay. Contrary to what my ex-husband said, he said I abducted his son and came to Jamaica. So I was in court. I've been in court for 10 years with my ex. We're going to put a pin on that one. We come back to that. But my daughter was in the UK, and for 14 years, they said she had mental health issues. So all the time you saw me in England, jumping on stage, flying abroad, doing my thing, I had a child who was allegedly suffering from mental health problems. What we don't realize as Black people in the UK enough is that the system treats us in a way that our pain threshold doesn't matter. Diagnosing us properly is not enough. So my daughter couldn't manage in COVID. She was really not doing well. And I had the Mango Girl brand, which I had to park because my daughter came to Jamaica and she was my secretary and helping me because it was a cottage industry. By the way, I'm still looking to revive it. So any Black person want to come and bring it up, just go to what's it called, that place, Trust a Pilot, and look at our reviews, 5-star reviews all the way. And I really want to revive that brand. But coming to it, my daughter came here because she just couldn't cope. And my mom said to me, you need to come. And I said, Mom, I just moved house. Literally moved house. In fact, when she was leaving for Jamaica, everything was still packed up. We hadn't even had a bed to sleep on. And she came out here and she was a fluffy, voluptuous girl like me. And then my mom said to me, she became a stick. You must come. You know when your mom say you must come. Yeah. So I hurried to Jamaica. Well, in that phase, I bought a piece of land out here. I bought the land. My daughter came to look at it. We loved it. I love bush, so we're in the bush. So the plan was to come to Jamaica, start the foundation, build out over 5 years, and then gradually come when the boy finishes high school. Well, girl, when I came here and saw my daughter, I saw a skeleton and I couldn't understand what was going on. Something was wrong. And we started going to doctors back and forth. And she went to a doctor that was trained in England, but lives in Jamaica. So a Black guy from Jamaica who came to England, got the same training that the British doctors in England get, same schools, but he's operating in a different country. And he understands Black people. And she walked into, one doctor said to her that she needed to take out her ovaries. She was only 23 at the time. And I'm like, no, I want grandchildren. So we got a second opinion. And as she walked into his office, Dr. Manthorpe, thank you so much. I love you very much. As she walked into Dr. Manthorpe's office, he said to her, she wears glasses. There's something wrong with your eyes. You have a brain tumor. And my daughter got upset. Like, I'm here to talk about my ovaries. They say I've got polycystic ovaries and I've got mental health problems, yada, yada, yada. She was aggressive. I couldn't understand her behavior, yada, yada, yada. And so it created a very funny relationship with my daughter because she was behaved somewhere and it was her mental health, right? That's what they said in England for 14 years. I spent so much money at private hospitals because my daughter had a mental issue. And so he said, let's explore this. And long story short, my daughter had a brain tumor. And by the time we start running around, she had 2 or 3. She just did surgery the week after the Black River Film Festival. And they found that her skull was too thin, so they couldn't drill. So it's a lot going on. But I couldn't leave Jamaica. I got stuck. Right now, and anybody listening to this podcast, if you can help, I would love your support. Right now, because I was living in Northern Ireland, you probably know that. My stuff, I never went back into the house. I just moved into, barely unpacked. So all my stuff are stuck in a container in Northern Ireland, wanting to find a way to ship it to Jamaica as a returning resident, or wanting somebody on mainland for me to partner with to ship to Jamaica. So let me go to it. So within 7 months, I'd already given away all my stuff. When I'm on holiday, you come here, give away everything because you came back to London, right? So all the Primark stuff and all the things you bring and all the whatever, I gave away everything. I had nothing left. My son was with me and we had a court case where my son is not meant to leave the country for more than 30 days. And I'm now stuck in between a rock and a hard place, 2 children. Both of them need me in different ways. And I cannot leave Jamaica. And so I'm going to get arrested and I'm risking it all because I cannot leave my first child. I just can't. And she doesn't trust coming back to England now because the system there misdiagnosed her. And long story short, I had to, girl, people were talking that I was mad. I became a frazzle of myself. And I remember my auntie called me and said, come here, Ava, come here. I girl, Sophia, I was walking on the road and I didn't care how I looked. I was so distressed. And I remember having no clothes. And luckily I used to give my mom clothes and stuff all the time so I could borrow back pieces of clothes here. My auntie would give me pieces of clothes there. All my stuff are in England. I've never gone back into the house. We had to give back the house to the back. I've never gone back and I just moved. And I had to quickly build this house I'm in 7 months. When I moved into this house, there was no floor, there was no grill, there was no kitchen. Girl, it was just survival. But through it, I've been able to support my child. In the end, the judge allowed my son to stay in Jamaica because he understood I needed to be here. My son's father still doesn't give him anything. It's just me. But I've had to pivot. And that's how my book business took off because I had to find a way to survive now because I'm no longer speaking as much as I would in England. I still had clients online. I didn't have good internet even because nothing was set up and I've had to pivot. There are so many more moments in my life, but I'm thriving now. There are so many moments in my life I could share, Sophia, with so many people. But what I want to underpin right there for somebody who's listening to this, and I hope you share it. When life throws you challenges, I want you to pause for a moment because sometimes we get frazzled and look back at something in your life that you've handled that's similar. It might not be the same thing, that has got the same tenets, and pull out like you pull out for winter, the umbrella or the gloves or the scarf from that experience into this moment. And that's what I did. I know it was long, but I think it was worth because somebody listening to this, whether it's 10 years from now, is going to find value in what I just shared.
That's so powerful because what I loved about what you're saying is that it's about the human behavior, what the behavior and the mindset. But how do people get to that point where they're going to pull out their umbrella or whatever? What makes us then say, right, I've had enough. I have to then pull out my umbrella, put whatever tools or tenets that are needed in order to move myself forward. What was that with you?
I'm going to make a comparison and I'm going to apologize before I make it. So those who are listening to this, please don't be offended. When you grew up in a country like Jamaica, where when your child falls, it's allowing them to get up, seeing that they're okay, and say, oh, don't worry, baby, come here. As opposed to a society like the UK, where when a child falls, oh my God, oh my God. Let me get another example. When you have a headache in Jamaica, you tend to go and drink water, garlic. In England, you go to get tablets. The United Kingdom does not, in my opinion, this is Dr. Ava Brown's opinion, does not allow us to allow ourselves to build out our resilience muscle. We are model cuddled. We're cuddled a lot there. Too much cotton wool. And so the resilience muscle is not allowed to thrive and to grow and to allow ourselves to be able to be as resilient as we can, because as human beings, we are naturally resilient. However, if the environment is not there to facilitate that resiliency, it is not going to happen. So let me tell you what happened in Jamaica. When you're a little bit depressed, them not throw tablet and label you and say your mental health and your this and the fragility, because then you start believing in it. You are told to go talk to your pastor, your elder, to go for a walk, to go even talk to a friend, to go down the river, go swim, and eat differently, and there are different ways. So I think if I grew up in England, in my own situation, what happened to me, I would never be this girl today. I think that for me, it comes from my childhood, my challenges, my resiliency. And because I did not have the many resources that the UK had, I had to figure it out. The resilience muscles comes from figuring out. Now, let me put another disclaimer out there. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with medication. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a diagnosis. However, it's when you lean into it too much, you rob yourself of the ability to develop that muscle. So I tell my children to stretch until your armpit hurts out of the comfortability and find your resilient muscle. That's what I think works for me.
Yeah, I love that, the resilience muscle. And that's something that I'm going to remember, because I normally call it like your reserve tank. We've always got that extra.
It's
Do you know
both.
what I mean?
It's both.
Always have that. Like, you have got global power status. Do you know what I mean?
Right?
Like, when I was doing, I've got
do.
down at my phone, and like, I'm going to read it here. I put like multi-award winning international speaker, author, and transformation mindset business coach, you know. And as you said that you are a coach and everything, and I know that resilience is at the heart of, you know, what you teach others. What do you think is the shift that people have to make? Is it then going back to that resilience muscle?
Shift that you have to make to be successful are a couple of things. One is to see failure as feedback. To understand that failure is a part of growth. To understand that failure is an event, is not a person, and it's formative. Let me repeat that. Failure is not a person, it's an event. It is formative, it's feedback, and it's part of growth. When you understand that, you welcome failure. So I have failed so many times in my life. And out of every failure, I see how I grow because of how I view failure. But also, it's for you to understand that in order for you to grow, and I'm looking up because I'm thinking, in order for you to grow, you have to be able to not swim against the waves, which are the challenges of life, but welcome them and use them to ride the waves. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's the ability to allow yourself to understand that you mustn't compete, but you must complement and you must collaborate. I'm giving you tenets of what success is for me. It's to understand that you don't know everything. And if you are the highest person, the biggest person in your friendship groups, then you are in the wrong person. Let me take it down. So for example, the Black River Film Festival, I just was on a call this morning and somebody said, Ava, you are so simple. I'm so freaking down to earth.
I love it.
And so grounded. I could have come on here in my farming clothes I was outside in, and
I would have loved that. I would have loved that.
Still motivate.
Yeah.
And still, I was outside tending to my pumpkins and my watermelon and all of that. Pumpkin seeds I brought from England, by the way. And when it touched the Jamaican soil, it created a magical pumpkin, I tell you. But so basically, they were saying that you have such a wide audience, such a wide reach. Because at the Black River Film Festival, we had CSI Miami Stars, we had Sex and the City stars, we had Games of Thrones, we had people who were from the Bob Marley One Love fame, we had the second best casting director from the UK. It was a really wide reach of people. We had Julie Mango there. I don't know if you know her.
Yes, I know Julie Mango.
And so it was just a crazy ass place. We had Topsy, a UK producer. It was a big deal. And then I was I don't see the pictures. I was just like the market girl running around the place. Like, I don't really care. And it's my event. Some people were like, oh my God, I have to look. I'm cool. I was serving cocktails and everything. Did you not see that? Because I understand that success is the ability to do everything in your operation from sweeping the floor. And don't think that you are some big CEO, that you have to be at the tentacle and the top, that you cannot be down to earth. So to sum it up, success is truly understanding who you be, not who you are, who you be in the world. I said that for emphasis. And to understand that regardless of how far you have climbed, you A, take others with you, you B, understand who you are, you stay grounded, and you remember that you're still just a human being. And then along the way, you'll give back. That's what success really means for me.
And you're definitely giving back, because let us talk about the Black River Film Festival. I'm so sorry I didn't get to Jamaica by the end
You have
of
to come
June
next year.
to
Put it in your
attend.
diary
Oh,
right now.
100%.
Put it in your diary now. Take out your diary, June 27th and 28th next year.
Nice one.
Your
I'm telling you,
diary.
man,
Everybody has to
seriously.
be there.
It's so important, isn't it, from the Jamaican diaspora to be able to come back and to develop communities, because you want to see the island grow. But why is it so important for you, in particular, St. Elizabeth?
I'm from here. That's the first thing. And you've been to Jamaica. You understand that there are certain things that only happen in the urban areas. No, I'm not an urban girl. I'm a country girl. I'll always be a country girl. And if a British guy is listening and want to come and marry me, you have to understand that you'll be living in Jamaica part of your life, but you're going to be in the country because the air is better. You can farm, you eat what you grow, the quality, the rivers, everything is here. But I'm from St. Elizabeth and I wanted to be near family. If I had to come home, that was what it's going to be. But when I came back and saw that the youth, especially because I had a youth festival as well, never, the other thing about me is that I'm innovative and I'm disruptive. It's never been done in this country before. Nobody's had the idea. It's never been done. So we had a youth festival, a youth film festival, which was bringing film and creative industry to the youth of the rural area of Jamaica, in particular the South Coast, who've never been experienced to and exposed to anything like this. That's the first tenet. And what I was thinking about as I did it was, we are moving on. We're getting older. Let's face it. How do we not be like Oprah? How do we not be like Tyler Perry by not creating another Oprah, by not creating another Tyler Perry, another Tyler Perry? How do we create other people who can write and teach and create and build movies like other Black people are? So I thought about it and I thought, if we get the young people now, the Gen Alpha, the Gen Z involved in it, then the baton has been passed on. Now, remember, I'm not a film person. I'm a writer. That's who I am. I know nothing about films and I'm very clear and honest about it. But I understand how to do events and I understand how to pull people together. And that's what I did. So I was interested in two things. A, to bring entertainment and to bring the creative to the country. And I did that. I wanted to have children to start thinking about the power and the impact of stories and how global stories can be. So we start writing. And also I merged it in Black River because Black River has history. Black River was where the British would ship logwood to England to make dye. Black River was once the first place in Jamaica to have got electricity, among several other things. It's almost a dead town with so much to it. We have the Black River Safari. We have the best bar in the world, the Pelican Bar, who's out in the middle of the ocean in Black River. And so it was a good space and a good place to mix country with what I wanted to do, to raise the bar on the South Coast, to entertain, to introduce the young people to creatives. And I created the first youth festival in Jamaica, in St. Elizabeth, where young people now have access to writing, producing, and doing all those things. And so the second staging is the 27th and 28th of June next year. And we're in the middle of that. And I'm looking for the diaspora to come out and support us. The youth festival, I'm going to say it, is the 27th to 28th of February. So if there are British children who want to come and create their movies and want to come and be a part of that, it's going to be open to all. So please be aware that we have all of that ready and set to go. So we have two festivals now because the reception was so great for the children that they have asked me to split it because the children had exams in the time we had it. So more kids from the other parts of the country could not participate. But now everybody will, and it's open to everybody, every youth across the world. I'm preferably children who are in the creative space. And I'd love kids to come to Jamaica and be a part of it. And that's why I created the Black River Film Festival, to create opportunities to expose
young people from the rural areas to the creative and to give something back to my community.
You are a lady of action. You're not a lady of, words, just chat, chat, chat. What am I going to do? But you're a lady of action. I'm very also inspired with regards to your story because you're always pivoting. Ava, what are you doing now? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just so inspiring. I've told you that as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have said that to you.
Thank
Seriously.
you.
So with what is going on now.
Can I just go back though to something? Because talk about giving back. I don't just do the Black River Film Festival in St. Elizabeth. I work in politics in St. Elizabeth. And what I love about what I do is I work for the Jamaican Parliament. And what I love about what I do is that I get to send not my money, but in my role, I get to help young people go back to school. I help to pay tuition fees. I help people with their funeral expenses when they have death in their family. I help to support the elderly. I help to support the vulnerable. And for me, I have goosebumps thinking about it. That is living in purpose. And so everything I do, whether it's writing books and publishing or speaking and training, I am living on purpose, divinely ordained. And everything I do funnel back into one thing, my love for helping others. And I love that.
And you know what, Ava? On several of these interviews with people, okay, and they've always said, I said, why is it that you're doing this? Do you know what I mean? Why is it that you're continuing to push on forward? And the thing that they always say is love. They always say what is embedded in what they do, their foundation is always based in love. So if you were to look back, okay, and to speak to that young girl selling mangoes on the train, my goodness, what would you tell her about what you're doing now?
I have to share. Oh my God. I wrote a letter to my younger self last week. I did, and I'm going to share a little bit of it with you because we don't have time to share all of it. But it was so emotional for me. And I'm trying to find, because I sent it to my cousin, who I'm very close to. And it says, oh God, I want to find it because I need to read. Okay, I'm going to find it. I have to find it because it's important. Manga girl. As I sit here looking back at the journey you've traveled, my heart overflows with love and admiration for you. There are so many things I wish I could have shared with you when you were younger. Insights and wisdom that could have made the road a bit smoother and the load a bit lighter. But here I am now, and I want to offer you these messages filled with encouragement, guidance, and deep affection. I hope they serve as a balm for any wounds you've carried and a beacon of hope as you forge ahead. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to just read a little bit of what I wrote. I wrote that I wish I was able to give you the gift of Maya Angelou's wisdom. I often think about how much comfort and inspiration you could have found in the work of Maya Angelou if you'd been introduced to her when you were just 5 years old. Not to her physically, but her books. Her poetry and poise and prose filled with beauty, strength, and profound insight could have been a source of solace and empowerment for you. Angelou's words such as, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies," speak to the resilience and dignity of the human spirit. Her writing is a celebration of overcoming adversity and embracing one's own worth. If you had known her work earlier, it might have helped you see yourself through a lens of grace and possibilities, even in moments of doubts. But even without her books in your hands, remember that essence of Angelou's message is something you've always carried with you. Her empathy, her self-respect, and perseverance mirror the strength you've demonstrated through your life. Her legacy is a reminder that you're not defined by others' perception, but by your own sense of worth and purpose. The last part I'm going to read about what I said, and I can send this to you privately. The burden of abuse. It was never your fault. One of the hardest truths I wish I could have shared with you, little manga girl, is that the abuse you experienced from those who should have cared for you was never your fault. The pain and confusion you felt were not a reflection of your worth or value. Those experiences, while deeply hurtful, do not define who you are or what you're capable of. You might have carried a sense of guilt or shame, but I want you to know that it was misplaced. The responsibility for such actions lies solely with those who caused you harm. You're a child, and you were a child, and you deserve to be protected, cherished, and loved. The burden of others was never yours to carry. And I'm wrapping down now. As you grow, you will come to understand that healing is a process, and it's okay to seek help and support. It's important to surround yourself with people who affirm your worth and value. Remember, little manga girl, you are deserving of kindness, respect, and love. The experiences of who your past and what your past is does not distinguish your strength or your future. You, my love, you're a survivor, and your story is one of resilience and courage. And I wrote more, but I
Wow,
wrote a letter to
wow,
myself last week.
wow. It's a wrap. I feel like it's a wrap now.
Yeah, I literally wrote a letter to myself last weekend. So it's crazy you asked me this
Wow,
question now.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
because
gonna do- because only last week I wrote this to myself.
because I want to understand, the behavior around as to why people decide to get up, stand up, and to be resilient. And going back to when you were 5 years old and going through the abuse, that particular situation. Do you know what I mean? And how you have just soared and how you're empowering others to be the best version of themselves unapologetically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get rid of, heal, and to soar. And you're
And
definitely showing
forgive.
that.
You have to forgive yourself first. It's
Mm.
the first piece. I had a coach I work with. She's from Birmingham, Audrea, who's become my good friend. And we met through kind of like that situation where I was so bitter and angry and hurt. And she worked through me with that, or worked with me through that. And from that, I understood that self-forgiveness was so necessary. And
Mm.
that you can forgive the perpetrators and your abusers, but it doesn't mean you have to be friends with them. And it's okay. It's okay. And yeah, so now I'm so light and free. Yeah.
Oh, I just love it. Because as we come to wrapping up, what are your final words that you would love our watchers and listeners to remember about your journey of resilience?
I'd love you to remember that you don't get to choose how you were born. It's not your choice. You have no choice in it. But the thing that you get to choose is how you die, meaning how you live the life from the birth, the cards you were given. I was given some really serious cards, man. And I know that there are lots of people who would not have played it the way I've played it. But be gentle with yourself. And understand that if you fall, it's okay. It's not the falling that's the problem, but the inability to get up. I've had 2 divorces. I'm single. I'm looking for my person. And as I look for my person, I'm glad I'm at this stage because realize I don't need a man to complete me, but to complement me. And the kind of love I have for myself right now is a love that I don't need a man. Like I need a man. I need a companion and a partner. And I want to say to those women who've gone through trauma, one of the things that trauma can do to you, it can make you feel that I have to have a man. You don't. Because if you feel that way, you're not healed and you're not ready for a man. You need to go and work on yourself. I want to say to everybody listening that you're enough. It doesn't matter what your brokenness is, you're enough. And that everything you desire, want, and need actually lies within you. And that you don't need all the things that you think externally to make you who you are and who you're called to be. That if you understand that growth and love and power and strength and resiliency is deep down into your own soul and your own embodiment, and that until you recognize that and then you start pulling from within, because the clothes and the makeup and stuff are not going to make you any better, that they're superficial and they're temporary. But if you want to hone who you really are, you have to dig out the pus and the issues in your tissues and come to the table clean and pure and ready to do the work and the healing and invest in yourself and find the people who can help you, then you're going to be still stuck. But if you do those things, then you understand that self-worth and self-value lie within your hands, and that your self-improvement and self-motivation and power and personal development are things you're going to have to invest in. And then once you're ready, because you have to be ready to step out, right? You have to be ready to do it. Once you're ready, find the people that have walked your walk. All of my coaches understand trauma. I cannot work with somebody who's a textbook person because you don't understand the journey I'm on. You don't know how to help me heal because you've never walked my walk. And I tell people all the time, until you walk somebody walk, don't judge them. Don't be jealous of anybody's success. You don't know what they had to go through to get there. Be content with what you can afford. It's okay. Don't try to be like everybody else because it will give you mental health problems. If you're not comfortable in the space you're in, Find out why and fix it and move to another space. Don't be in a relationship because you think you can't help it. Don't settle.
I love that.
Love yourself first. Because until you love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And remember that everything you think that's bad about you, somebody else wish they had it in their own life. The story of the monkey and the banana peel, the man on the banana peel, he ate the banana, thought he was like his life was the worst. I'm paraphrasing, dropped the banana peel and the monkey grabbed it. Just when you think you're drowning, there's somebody else who's going through something worse. And everybody's either in the middle of something, at the beginning of something, at the end of something. Until we die, we're always going to have things that we're going to have to deal with. It's how you deal with them that makes a difference. And if ever you need somebody to help you navigate life, then come and talk to me. So look, follow Black River Film Festival on Instagram. Follow Book 2, the number 2 Biz Publishing. But just Google Dr. Ava Eagle Brown. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on social, I'm everywhere. I'm populated like a bad prostitute in a good way. So you can find me everywhere. You can find me on social media. I'm everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
I just love your energy. I just love it.
Get a copy of the Manga Girl. You have to read the Manga Girl, man. Yeah.
I just love your energy. I just feel revived. You know what I mean? Before the interview, I was a bit, I could have a little afternoon nap. But now that I've started, I'm like, yes, what's next? What needs to be done? Type of thing, you know?
Do you know what? I'm gonna share something with you that I got from the feedback of the training I got this week. And they said, this is the HR, says, thank you so much. My colleague told me it was such a great session and she loved how you made the participants feel safe. Ava, she said at 4:30, nobody was sleeping. Nobody wanted to see, nobody wanted to leave. You are amazing among humans. And she said, even today, we're getting emails from participants as well, saying, that was yesterday's, how great you were. Listen to me, man. You have to just live life out loud. Like, live life out loud and just be happy. That's great. Like, I want to stay young. Yeah, I'm an old girl now. I want to stay young, so I smile, I laugh, I bring the energy. This is why when people come to my speaking engagement, they're never bored, man.
Oh my God, thank you so much for your lessons, your truth. And as I said, holding space with me today on the Long Story Short.
Always. And love Long Story Short. So guys, when you listen to Long Story Short, whether it's my episode or anybody else, do something, share it. Because here's what, sometimes the message is not for you. It's for somebody you know, and you can't be selfish, so pass it along. So when you get this recording, pass it to somebody so they can go and subscribe to Long Story Short and they get the value. And sometimes the thing that they need to kick them up the backside is in Long Story Short. So make sure you share.